Okay, cool. Can everybody hear me?
Yep.
Yep.
Yep, excellent. Okay, welcome everybody. My name's Daniel Zerwick. I am your trainer today. Today's date is the 20th of April 2006. It is a Monday. It's currently 7 p.m. And this is our online session just to induct you guys on our online learning orientation. Okay, so basically, before we start, we just want to do a welcome to country. So we would like to, begin by acknowledging the Gadigal people of the Aurora Nation as the traditional custodians of the country on which we meet here today. We recognise their continuing connection to the land, waters, and community, and pay our deepest respects to elders past, present, and emerging. I also like to extend that respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people present here today. So with that being said, we'll begin. Online learning. So have you guys ever joined an online class and have felt lost? Probably so. This is the induction to bridge that gap, right? Online learning can be kind of flexible, but it can also be challenging as well, right? And again, this session will spell everything out and hopefully will be less challenging after that. And by the way, has anybody heard of Moodle? Do you know what it
No.
is?
Nope.
Okay, excellent. Another reason why this learning session is so valuable. It's a learning management tool. We'll get into that, right, as we go through. So how this is all linked, yeah? Changes obviously inevitably happening, right? A majority of courses today are delivered online. So yeah, it's important to know how to use all of the digital tools, right? That are at our disposal. And this orientation is really to get you familiarized to our online environment before we actually start delivering the online content. Yeah. So learning objectives for today's class. So by the end of today's session, you will be able to understand online learning, right? The different types, use the different, key tools, resources, and systems. Yeah. So, we do provide you guys, like, with your Office 365, with all of the digital tools. You don't have to buy in your own software, right? How to effectively participate. Yeah. So a lot of this is,
Pardon me.
using the tools. This is one of them. Yeah. Zoom is a tool on how we can kind of participate. Yeah. And we've got other forms, right? And also just to apply strategies for success. Yeah. So by knowing what they're used for, and organizing yourselves, you'll be best positioned to be able to undertake online learning. So learning methods. I asked you guys just before the session to do a bit of a survey. So that survey was, to really work out your, your learning methods and your digital literacy, right? So digital literacy, everybody here, has basic literacy, knows how to use a computer, can get around different software. But from a learning method, right, we've collated those results and basically and averaged everything out. So really, you guys are visual learners, right? So you like looking at slides and demonstrations, right? Which is why we've got a set of slides here today. And you're kind of kinesthetic learners, right? And what that means is that you guys are learners that like to, have hands-on activities and practice a lot, right? Which is cool, right? Because I'm kind of also fit in that category. I like to get my hands, and do things as opposed to just listening. Yeah. So basically, we'll incorporate that learning into the next sessions, right? And make sure that the sessions are going to be tuned for your learning styles, right? Does anybody oppose these learning methods? Can everybody relate to them? No
Yeah,
oppositions? We got it right. Excellent. So today's section structure, we're going to be going through this introduction, which is what we're doing today. Right now, I mean, we're going through this introduction at the moment. We're going to go through the online learning basics. We'll go through some of the participation tools, right, that will be available at your disposal, some success strategies, followed by a conclusion, right? And that should be our 30 minutes. Safety requirements for the session. This is an online working environment. You know, you guys we're not doing this face to face. So we just want to make sure that your respective environments where you're sitting here today are, you know, an ergonomic workspace. They are free from any hazards. You do have good lighting, and, you know, we are respecting everybody's, you know, respecting their safety and just respecting everybody generally. And just with safety and respect, right? A few added points that I wanted to mention. You know, mute your camera, your microphones when not speaking. Make sure we respect others. I know some people have other opinions and may not think like you, so just be mindful of that and respect that. Protect your login details. Don't share too much. You know, and just remember we've got an discrimination policy. With that being said, our first activity is just a bit of a Q&A on anti-discrimination, right? Just to get our minds flowing, right? So I'll ask a question, and then if one of you guys answer it, that'd be great. If nobody does, I'll pick names. We'll go through a couple, but question number one: what is the main purpose of an anti-discrimination policy? What do you guys think?
Create a good environment.
Yep. That's right. For everyone, without discrimination. List 3 protective characteristics you think a anti-discrimination policy would protect. Richard?
Religion.
Religion, yeah, religion's one of them. Yep.
Sexual.
Sexual
Yep,
orientation.
Yep.
sorry,
Political interests, I guess.
Possibly, yep. Anything else? Joy, what do you think a anti-discrimination would protect?
On mute.
Okay. Yeah, race, gender, age, all of the above. So according to the policy, how do you think we assure equal access during administration? Any takers?
Oh, sorry, you asked the question.
That's okay. I'll provide. We provide clear and accessible course information, right? We apply the fair administration process, and we don't discriminate on any protected characteristics. Yeah. We'll jump to the last one. What processes are in place to monitor and review discrimination practices within an organization?
Recording, all right.
Correct. Yep. We're recording this session at the moment.
Reviewing recording afterwards.
Yeah.
An easy avenue for people to, for people to report it.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, and good record keeping as well. Okay, excellent. Okay, good first activity, our Q&A. So topic one. What is online learning? What is it? Well, it's learning delivered via the internet. So there are a couple of forms of online learning. There are synchronous learning, right? Learning that's in sync. This is an example. Okay, we are both here today, all together. We are synchronized, right? So these are live sessions, right? Zoom is a big one. It could be other learning platforms similar to Zoom, like Teams and Google Talk or whatever, and learning together in real time, right? So we're trying to simulate that classroom space, right? Synchronous learning. And then there's asynchronous learning, right? Self-paced learning, complete at your own time, kind of like homework. Any other examples that you could think of?
Reading a book. Same
Correct.
thing.
Yep. Studying.
Yeah, watching YouTube.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. These are all asynchronous. These are what you're doing in your own time, to help with learning. Okay. Just a quick discussion. What are the benefits of online learning, and what are some of the challenges? Right. We'll go one by one and provide me an example of each.
Benefits are you're in the comfort of your own home.
Yep.
You don't have to waste time getting to and from the learning location. I guess it's cheaper. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, you can have all your books and notes with you. You don't have to lug it around. It's safer. And you can do it anytime, anytime of the day, really. Or you don't have to just do it between the hours of 9 and 5. You can do it in the evenings. Yeah.
Excellent. Challenges. Anyone with challenges? Joy. What are some of the challenges you think of online learning?
Study at home, like maybe your internet is down. That can be one of the challenges.
Yep.
And maybe the environment is not right to study.
Yep.
Yep.
I think the technological challenge, especially in this day and age where the cost of technology is ridiculously expensive and people are just getting priced out of just being able to buy your normal run-of-the-mill laptops. I mean, like you want something good, it's like $5,000. I mean, not everyone can afford that.
Yep, that's true. Well, look, lucky enough, you don't need the strongest performance to do Zoom calls and study online. We try to factor that in. Good discussion. Let's move on. Topic 2. Right, participating in an online working environment. Right, how you can succeed online. So, realistically, this is first things first is when you get onboarded, you're going to need to log online. So you'll have an account like this. You'll need to come up with, or you'll be given, I guess, some access credentials, right? Which you'll need to obviously go and change your password, right? So it's only known to you. Basically, we do authenticate with an authentication platform called Ping, right? So you'll also be given a QR code, right, where you'll need to scan your phone and have that authentication app on your phone. But following that, getting online is quite a breeze. In terms of digital tools, we provide you with a Microsoft 365 subscription, right? So there you've got, all of your Office apps. You've got your Word, PowerPoint, Excel, everything you need. You've got access to OneDrive where you can store your files, right? That's also part of your subscription. You've got access to your Outlook, right? Is our formal, so you'll be given an email address, and you can do communication via that. So these tools are provided as part of the subscription or as part of your, you signing up with us. Learning management system, right? We use a system called Moodle. It's similar to SharePoint, except it's specific to online learning. You'll find all of the course content on there. This is where we'll assign you to, your specific courses where you can submit all of your work. It's where you can access this via the browser. You can download an app on your devices, and really it's quite accessible, right? It's really good. It's usually in a lot of universities, and we've chose to partner with them for this particular course. Learning resources, all of the, in Moodle, you'd be given a dashboard similar to what you can see here today. You'll see your course, the course name, how much of it you've completed, fairly straightforward. So really good with dashboards. Again, very, very easy. You can see all of your unit lessons, assessments, resources, and all of that. Going through communication channels, again, you can see this is a snapshot of my one, where you've just got, Office Outlook, and this is where you just have all of the formal communication happening, right? So email is the official one. The informal one is Teams, right? And you can see that here, right? So we've got a couple of apps as well. I'll do a bit of a demonstration, right? Just to show you guys the platform and what to expect. So I'll end the recording here. I'll just end the slideshow. And I will just jump into here. All right. So here you could see I've got my phone. Can you see that? And
Yeah.
I'm getting in. I've got the authenticator going on. And it's asking for an authentication. Okay. Reconnect. Okay, and this is the app. Can you guys see the phone and the app? So just retry on the mobile. And we press yes. Authenticated, and we authenticate. And then we get in to our digital platform. Here I've got one demo course, right? But basically all of your courses are listed here. You can see you've got your free apps. You can show them all. And I've just got a link to the Moodle platform where you can see as it loads up. we've got current courses, and then we've got our demo course where we can find all of our things. So we've got our units, and everything is fairly straightforward and intuitive, I should say. Did everybody see that? Everybody kind of get that? Pretty simple, guys. Yeah, this is kind of our online learning platform. Go back to our presentation. Resume that. Okay, can everybody see the presentation? Yep, excellent. So, topic 3, succeeding in an online learning environment, right? How you can kind of succeed in that. Okay, so we do have communication protocols. So you can email your trainer anytime. Basically, trainer name at school.edu.au. We've obviously got our sessions, right, which are scheduled, right? But if you do need a one-on-one, right, directly with your trainer and assessor, we do on Teams have a booking button where you can book time, right? Whenever you feel like it, right, or whenever the trainer's free, for a 30-minute session, right? And then you can ask whatever you need, right? So that's how we do our one-on-ones. And you can also chat to students via the Teams app. Any questions?
When do we sign up?
Again, so seeking help, yeah. So we've got obviously asking the trainer during the sessions, right? Here with me, using the different forums, right? So we've got obviously the different forums for you to seek information, as well. Where all the students can kind of post a question, write some answers, usually very, very effective. And email support, right? So we've got heaps of email support. We've got support staff that are ready to assist you in any way. So just a discussion. How else do you feel you could succeed in online learning? What are some of the challenges? What are your
Challenges?
Make sure you don't have any distractions around.
Yeah.
I don't know, like there is always that benefit of being in a classroom, like physically with people beside you. But you can just chat to the person beside you, ask any questions, discuss things. I don't feel you can do that as easily online.
Yep. And how do you think we can kind of overcome that sense of lost cohesion?
I guess maybe you can do small breakaway chat groups, not too
Yep.
big. Maybe
Yep.
like groups of 3 or 4 to discuss, I guess, some particular problem you'd like to discuss or something about like an assignment.
Yeah.
It's usually
Like
easier to talk amongst a smaller group than a bigger group. Not everyone has an easy time finding their place amongst the big group. I guess there's people in every group that are more talkative than others. So
Yeah.
not everyone finds it as easy to find their voice, I guess. There's always that.
Okay. So like, yeah, having a small study group, scheduling some time, and just kind of amongst yourselves. And that, look, I think maybe that also builds the cohesion as well. Quite possibly. Takes a bit of coordination maybe. Anything else? How else you guys can succeed online? And
I don't know what it is right now.
Lots of coffee.
lots of coffee, yes. No, no, I don't oppose that. Yeah, especially for the late nights. Hatchery.
Yeah, get plenty of sleep. Make sure you're not tired. Make sure you're well prepared before you
Yeah.
start the class.
And
Yeah.
recording, going over recordings as well.
Going,
It's probably a
yes,
bit-
absolutely. Yep. Going over recordings. I know for me, I need to have everything in my calendar, right? So I need my phone to be reminding me an hour before. I'm quite yeah. That otherwise, if it's not on my calendar, if I'm not getting notified that, I might just miss it. Yeah. So I don't do these sessions because I've got a great memory. It's just I'm organized. Yeah. Anything else? Anything else we can think of? Joy,
Yeah,
anything,
like
anything you can think of that will make you succeed in online?
Mostly like Richard and Daniel already said it, but because like, it's a lot of beneficial to do online. So let's say like recording and then you can like look at it later.
yeah, because not the information doesn't always sink in the first time.
Yeah.
So you might have to re-listen to it, or at least
Yeah.
read the notes afterwards again.
Mm.
That's generally
Okay.
my problem. Like I have to sometimes, if I'm tired, I got to go over it twice.
Okay, guys. Well, I think we've kind of discussed this quite well. We all kind of, I guess, from that discussion can kind of come up with some good behaviors and strategies on how to succeed. Which brings us to, I guess, the end of today's session. So the outcome, I guess, what we've learned now. I guess we understand now what online learning is. We know the tools that you've now developed an expectation. Yeah, we know the tools. Microsoft 365, the different learning platforms that we're going to be exposed to, and we've discussed and gone through how to really participate effectively, right? Particularly formally, with the emails, booking the one-on-ones, and then organizing amongst yourselves to with your own forums, right? To be able to, um, you know, um, you know, basically draw and draw from one another. So that's it. Look, usually I put a feedback slide at the end of every session. This is your opportunity to give feedback to me. What went well? What can improve? I think you've done amazingly. I think you guys have been fully engaged, have participated well in the discussions. I haven't had to direct any questioning to a specific individual. Everybody's, kind of, proactively answered questions. So this is time for you to give some feedback for me.
I thought it was really good, Dan. Thanks. I
Richard?
don't really have any negatives to criticize or.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's pretty well structured. I don't know, I tend to be sort of get a bit of a mental blank when put on the spot to come up with ideas, like what you asked earlier. If there's no examples, no, I guess I struggle with that sometimes to come up with a
Okay.
good answer. But yeah. But otherwise, no, you spoke pretty clearly. You had everything on point, and yeah, well done.
Joy, any feedback that you might have?
Yeah, I think like this time it's went very smooth, very clear. Yep.
Excellent. All right, thank you for that. It's always appreciated. And our final slide. So in terms of next steps, we will now proceed into or get ready for our first session, right? So I will have a cybersecurity task for you to do. There'll be a bit of a checklist, right, which will be required for our next session. Yeah, so it is going to be emailed to you, right, and it will be the asymmetric learning task for you to do. And it does need to be completed before next session because there will be some insights that I provide to you in that session. So, yep, that's the session. Thank you very much for joining me, and I will see you for the next one. And just remember, if you have any other questions or anything, you can email me, and I will reply. Thank you very much, guys, and I shall stop the recording.
When's the next one?